Thursday, January 15th, for the Town of Middletown Planning and Zoning Commission meeting. All rise for the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag, please. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
First on the agenda is 105 East Cochran Street, conditional use permit request for an auto detailing building garage for detail works in an R1A zoned area, CU-01-26, tax parcel number 23-009.00-046. State your name and tell us what you want to do.
My name is Brandon Parrott. At first, I'd like to apologize. I'm not a very good public speaker, so my name is Brandon Parrott. I'm seeking approval to build a 30 by 40 building to operate my business out of. Would be for detailing cars. I'm a low volume. I don't do a ton of cars a week, typically 3 to 4. My standard full detail, 3 to 4 of them a week. They're typically completed in 5 to 7 hours. And then the bulk of what I do would be paint correction and ceramic coating. Those jobs could last anywhere between 5 to 7 days. So I don't have a high flow of traffic in and out of my shop, even my current shop on Industrial Drive. Quality over quantity, so.
Questions?
Can you give a little bit more detail about what type of products you'd be using, chemicals, paint, so on and so forth?
Yeah, so just normal detailing normal detailing supplies, soap, compounds and polishes, extractor shampoo, window cleaner, stuff like that.
To a stay-at-home mom, when I think soap, or not, I'm sorry, not a stay-at-home mom.
Yeah.
But to a mom, I used to be, to a mom,
Yes.
I'm thinking Dawn dish soap. I'm thinking, so can you elaborate a little bit more on the type of
Car wash
soaps
soap, I mean, that's the best I can explain it without showing you.
And then the paint, it's car paint.
What's that?
So, and you also would be painting, correct?
No, I don't, no, so it's paint correction. So when you go through, let's say, car washes, you get scratches, swirl marks, stuff like that. I'd be removing that. I do touch-up paint, but I'm not painting cars. It's touch-up paint you can go in any auto parts store and buy and do it yourself. So nicks or chips in paint, stuff like that.
So we're not nothing airborne?
No.
No aerosol, nothing airborne,
Nope.
nothing, okay. My next question is gonna be like fireballs and stuff like that, but if you're not doing that type of painting, that takes away that
Yep.
concern.
Any other questions?
Yep. The building, it's not there, you're constructing the building?
So there is an existing structure there, which I would be taking down. It's more like a glorified carport, if you will. I have somebody who would like to take that. The only demo I would be doing per se would be the existing concrete pad. So,
Morris, before you
Because
go into too much.
I'd like to
Sorry.
bring up in the planning and zoning under the R1A, no building on premises shall be used, no building shall be erected or altered, which is arranged, intended or designated to be used except for one or more of the following uses complying with the requirements so indicated. So it does list a detached garage. It's a accessory use, so that would fall under that.
Yeah, and then there are conditional uses for businesses in residential areas, so I think that's part of it too, that he's requesting conditional use based on the list in that zoning section. And, for not just the building, but the ability to use it as a business.
That was gonna be my question too, regarding the zoning. If there was a zoning issue of having a business.
Yeah, I mean, that's the, kind of the crux of this tonight's is the conditional use to allow for the business in the R1A.
Do we have other car detailing businesses in the town of Middletown?
The only one we could find was a
Residential
conditional
areas?
use for a mobile unit in an R1A, but not a building like
mo-
this.
Can I chime in? Amore's used to operate right off Broad Street for years in a residential house. So I'm doing nothing different than they did years ago.
Amore was approved in 2011. He moved probably
I,
5 years ago.
yeah, I
So
think he went out of
he
business.
He did operate, it was a mobile unit, so he actually operated out of a trailer on Broad Street. Right on, I'm trying to think what, it was right in,
Yeah, right across the street from the school.
right across from the school.
There's also 2 or 3 of them in town that do cars. Not the extent, I don't think he does, but, you know, like wash and wax them and,
You mean like a mobile service going around, or?
yeah, their front yard or wherever.
Oh,
they're
yeah,
doing it.
well,
I mean, will you be dealing with motor oil, grease, heavy metals from brake dust, microplastics?
No.
So on and so forth?
Nope.
It's no more than you waxed your own vehicle.
Yeah, it's like going to,
That's all. He just,
Just times a
he's just doing it for you, that's all.
going to AutoZone or someplace.
Yeah.
So there's like the interior, you're kind of cleaning that up, and just the exterior
Correct.
dents
Yep.
and paint spots.
I think to clarify for the board, to be honest with you, I think what she's trying to understand is that it's not just waxing your own car. I wax my car about once a month. The thing is that he's doing it 3 times a week. So 2 to 3 times a week. So that's a clarification that we're trying to get across. It's a lot more usage than just a regular home usage.
I understand that, Joe. I mean, I'm not stupid, yeah, he's a business. But I'm
But-
saying, I just said it's no more than you wax your own car as far as dust and stuff. That shop is clean. I've been there.
I mean, can I chime in again? There are plenty of businesses around here that make far more noise than I ever will. You have a handyman down the street that cuts wood in his driveway. I mean,
I wasn't worried about the sound, to be honest with you. The thing that we worry about is, actual contamination for the water usage that's going into the water. So that's the question that's coming up with the whole play of
okay,
of contaminants that what are you using for solvents and stuff like that.
I understand that.
So for clarification reasons, we haven't even gotten to the noise yet. So we haven't even touched base on that. I do have a question for Morris so the structure that we are here for tonight on, is he just operating for that construction, is that the conditional use for that building, not for the residents, is that correct? So what I'm trying to just for clarification reasons, you know what I mean, because you said it's conditional use for that.
Yeah, it's for the use of a building to operate that business on his site.
On
He'll have
site.
to get a building permit for all this and make sure he's tied into the drains correctly, the sewer correctly, and that sort of thing. He'll get a building permit through the building permit department.
If he was
For
just
the
building a
structure.
garage for himself,
Yeah.
it wouldn't come here.
Right, so now,
Is that what you're asking? It would go for a
Kinda,
building permit,
yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it would be a residential garage.
sure, that's
But
what I was
he's
thinking too.
Conditional use, because it's gonna be a business, is what he's trying to do.
Out of that section.
Being honest and upfront and telling you what he's trying to do.
Sure.
One of my biggest concerns was the amount of customers and the amount of traffic that's coming in, and when I was reviewing the zoning, some of the other businesses that they talk about, things like studio, music studios would probably have a greater number of customers. You could probably do a couple of people a day.
Or that would be the next question, hours and traffic, parking.
my hours right now over on Industrial Drive are typically 8 to 5. Again, I'm low volume. I'm not a car wash. I don't have 2,000 cars running through a week. I'm low volume. The YMCA that was built generates far more traffic up and down the road than I will.
Right, just like, you know,
So-
we're not against you, we ask everybody that comes through
Okay.
here these questions, just to make sure, especially if it's a residential area.
I understand.
Traffic's one of the concerns,
I understand.
yeah. So we just have a few more questions.
Yep, no, go for it. I will be operating, I mean, I understand if somebody doesn't agree with it or doesn't want it, but I operate my business even over on Industrial Drive like I'm next to a residential area. I don't create excess noise or anything like that. I'm very mindful of other tenants around me. That's gonna be no different than my neighbors.
But how many cars do you think you would have? How many cars a day do you think you would have?
In and out. I mean,
All depends on what he's gonna do.
yeah. Typically 3 to 4 full details a week, which would be interior, exterior cleanings, and then, paint correction or ceramic coating jobs, typically one of them a week. And that's usually 5 to 7 days on its own.
Okay, so 3 to 4 a week is a lot different than 3 to 4 an hour.
Oh, yeah, again, I'm super, super low volume.
Okay,
I'm not, I don't do thousands of cars a year.
Will you have anything parked on the street, or will it all be in your
I,
yard?
I have zero intention of having anybody drop off on the street or pick up on the street. The way I operate now, everything's to be scheduled. Pick up, drop off, even, somebody that wants an estimate, I make sure that it is scheduled. I don't take walk-ins. It's not an option with me.
I'm gonna touch a little bit on the noise level. What type of equipment do you use? Vacuums and
Correct. Vacuum, I mean,
generators?
no generator. No, it will be powered, normal electric. I do have an air compressor that I run. If this was to go through, I will have a bathroom. The compressor will be in the bathroom, which will be insulated to help keep noise down. I'd love to do the same thing with a vacuum if I can figure out a way to do that. Again, I realize this is, a residential area, but it's been done before. So,
Why are you moving from the industrial parkway?
because commercial rent is expensive. Expensive. My rent, if I was to sign another 2-year lease in my current building, my rent will jump another $11,000 a year.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
go back just to understand about the rent. We've lost some really fabulous businesses in Middletown due to increasing rent, over the past couple of years. Just go back to the chemical contamination for a minute. So the type of soap you're using, how are you going to prevent, so when you do car wash, is it gonna be outside this?
I'll have a wash mat inside which contains the water.
Okay,
Once that's done, you pump it out. It can go into the grass. If you look at EPA regulations for washing your car at home, they recommend you do it in gravel or grass. That therefore acts as a natural filter.
I'm thinking if it's, we don't wash our cars very often, we really should. But if we wash our cars, on a normal basis, it'll probably be once a month for both cars. You're gonna have more cars coming on a, more frequent basis. So I am kind of still wondering about that, the chemical contamination from the soaps. Because we're not talking like Dawn soap, we're not talking Johnson & Johnson.
I mean, what I use is comparable to Dawn dish soap. Soap is soap. I mean, not being smart, but
What type of soap is it?
how do you want me to answer that? Soap is soap. I'm not being smart. It's car wash soap. There's tons out there. You can walk in AutoZone and they're everywhere. So,
All this work is being done inside the garage,
correct.
not outside.
Now, I mean, again, not being smart, that's the whole purpose of me building a building, to work in it.
Just want to verify
So,
that.
yes, yep.
Any other questions? We have a motion.
Anybody here from the audience?
Oh, excuse me, audience, yes.
Yes, please.
I also have some pictures here I'd like to show you guys. Show you how it looks. That's one of the big, my property, I live on, South Cox Street, this is all the same pictures around.
Okay,
It just shows the 19-foot difference between my dining room and where his shed sits.
present shed?
The present shed and the shed that he's planning on building. And off the property,
And if I may, I just looked it up really quick. So car wash soaps, they do contain PFAS, which is toxic to the environment, phosphates, and a lot of other chemicals that are harmful to human and the environment. So that's why I was asking exactly what kind. Because each type of soap will have a different type of contamination. And you are gonna be 20 feet away from another home.
Okay.
But it's still, it's the same soap as if you washing your own car.
I don't wash my car 5 times.
We're not here.
Be a little clearer on this one.
This is, not, nothing what we're going with.
You're gonna talk exactly about the building, right?
Yes.
Where it is?
Yes, yes.
Okay. 'cause we're not-
No, I'm also going to talk about some other points. That's okay.
Not related to the.
No, related to the business. So, good evening, my name is Tommy Jacobs, and I reside at 105 South Cox Street, which shares a property line with 105 East Cochran Street. I'm here tonight to voice my strong opposition on rezoning 105 East Cochran Street for an auto detailing shop on the property. I want to start off by saying that Brandon and I have lived next to one another for over a decade peacefully, and I want him to know that this isn't personal. I just need to protect my property, my family, and my sanity. Zoning in the neighborhood is there for a reason, and it protects the neighbors and helps show respect and living together in harmony. The detail shop will sit within 20 feet from my home, not from the property line, but from my living quarters. The concerns are vacuums, compressors, pressure washers, etc., which all exceed 90 decibels. My other concerns are oily wastewater runoff. The average gallons of water to wash the cars between 35 and 100 gallons, which will surely be mixed with oil, gas, and other chemicals and carcinogens spilling onto my property. Brandon has been detailing cars before on the property, but operating 6 days a week would seem unfair to myself, my family, my neighbors, and my property value, not to mention health concerns. I believe the zoning committee is here to protect the community, and the benefit is to adhere to zoning rules does that. I understand that financially this makes a lot of sense for Brandon, but what cost is it to his neighbors? The lots in town are only so big, and I believe running a business this close to one another's homes is dangerous and disrespectful. I'm pleading with this committee to manage the harmony and protect our community. That's why I'm asking you to deny Mr. Parrott's request. I'd also like to remind everybody that when the soap comes off the engine, the car, it's bringing material with it. Brandon wants to put a driveway in, which we haven't talked about yet, blacktop driveway to that building, and the runoff of that driveway is going to go right into my property. Thank you.
Anybody else?
Yes, sir. Good evening. My name is Whitney Jacobs. I also reside at 105 South Cox, adjacent to the property in which Brandon Parent is requesting a permit. I have already shared my concerns and written you all a letter that you should have received this week, as well as sent it to Councilman Sherman, Chaz, and Mayor Branner. I have also showed you documentation that shows that Mr. Parrott is not the owner of this property, nor is he on the deed to the property in which the permit is being requested.
That's correct.
I'd like to share with you some statistics that are quite alarming, and as residents in this community, we should all be very concerned about. U.S. EPA, Environmental Protection Agency, shows that auto body operations emit volatile organic compounds and hazardous air pollutants. Auto body paints, no matter what they are, often contain toxic substances. These are associated with lung damage, asthma, long-term health effects, and without proper ventilation, toxic vapors can travel to our neighbors and potentially pose inhalation risks to nearby residents. CDC also says that sanding, grinding, or polishing metals can remain airborne. Those particles can remain airborne, and we are just 20 feet, and that will reach our home. As Tommy also mentioned, noise created by compressors and the tools that he wants to use are over 85 decibels, which can cause hearing damage. Hearing exposure and noise pollution also creates disruption for sleep disruption, especially for those in the community that possibly work from home or work shift work. It also creates increased stress, high blood pressure, cardiovascular disease when noise originates from nearby non-industrial sources. OSHA also mentions flammable chemicals used in detailing significantly increase fire and explosion risk, especially when stored or used outside of purpose-built commercial facilities. This is that. Lastly, something that's very unsettling to me as a public school educator for 20 years is we have a significant increase in traffic with the YMCA on East Cochran Street already. We've had an increase, and Sergeant Saunders can attest to this, that we've had an increased police presence because we have unsafe drivers driving around our neighborhood. And we have children that are walking to school during the operation of which Brandon tends to have his business hours. I sat this morning in traffic at the intersection at Catherine and East Cochran. There were 6 cars in front of me at 9 a.m. this morning, and I am watching children walk to school, which is their right to have a public education. And this morning, I could not imagine the amount of traffic that would be increased by the operation that this business would create. The Transportation and Local Enforcement Studies have also, summarized by the Municipal Research and Services Center, have also proven that increased vehicle traffic with an auto body or auto detailing shop can increase the number of traffic, the number of traffic vehicles by 3 to 6 families with the amount of traffic that he would create. The property at 105 East Cochran was zoned residential, and streets in the area of this nature are designed for low traffic volume. For all of these reasons, approving this rezoning would fundamentally change the character and integrity and safety of our neighborhood. It would place an unnecessary burden on the families who live here and the documented risk to our health, environment, and especially the children that walk to school and walk these streets every single day far outweigh the benefit of allowing his business to operate. I respectfully urge this committee to deny the application and protect the well-being of our community. I thank you all for your service and for being here this evening, for listening and taking this into consideration.
Thank you.
Can I correct one thing from both of the presentations? This is not a rezoning. We are not considering something rezoning the property. The property is already zoned. It is, so we're not rezoning the property. We are determining whether this would be allowed under the zoning or not. And with this particular zoning, it is residential, but commercial is allowed in it under certain conditions. So this is not a rezoning.
Thank you for the correction. I think you have enough information here without that to make it a healthy decision for our community.
I'm just trying to point out the accuracy.
I'd like to ask one more thing based on these comments.
Yes.
The concern about traffic, you said 4 cars a week?
3 to 4 a week.
Don't see
So
where
that's a
that
drop in the bucket compared to what is already existing.
And you're not doing sanding and painting? and-
Absolutely not. I'm not a body shop.
Is there any way this garage could be moved over a few more feet to clear the 10-foot mark?
I mean, we could, as long as I can swing a driveway in that way.
Is there any problem doing that, do you know?
I mean, there's a setback restriction you have to meet for zoning code. I mean, we normally can't make them go more than that, but you can suggest it to council as a condition if they want to consider it.
And does this fit in with the zoning?
Well, it has to. I mean,
Okay.
when we see a building site plan, we'd make sure it's a new building, so.
Right.
He could try to get a variance, but normally in new construction, with that, you don't have a hardship. It's
So
gotta
he's
fit.
going on the same spot, okay.
Yeah, I mean, it just has to fit.
For clarification,
I'd
we're
like to-
thinking about it, having the building a little bit further away from the neighbors? Is that what we're discussing?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, that brings up another point for me is that as a business, not just a building, does it have to be a certain distance away from a residence?
That's just the zoning code. The setbacks that are required aren't contingent upon the business per se. Just the structure.
10 feet for detached in R1A.
I'd have to look. I mean, it's,
I thought it was,
I
I thought it was actually 5 foot off the line, but 10 feet from a
It's
building.
5 in a lot of places, that's why. I was
Basically, it'd be
wondering.
5 feet on each side of the line is what I thought it was, but, yeah.
I do apologize. What is it, 5 feet on each side of the line?
accessory structures are typically 5 feet.
Yeah, it's 5 feet each way.
I'd like to bring up a point that Mrs. Jacobs mentioned. Under the general provisions, under the conditional use permits, affect diversity, the health and safety of persons residing or working in the neighborhood of the proposed use. So that kind of came up with all her OSHA concerns.
Yeah, I mean, you can use that as a reason for your vote one way or another, or your recommendation one way or another. Sure.
Just kind of piggybacking off what Gretchen said, I know I would feel a lot better if I knew more about the chemicals. If I knew more about what was being used, if I were a little more educated on, any type of hazards any type of possible fire risk with, flammable, chemicals or environmental risk. So I was really hoping that you'd give me a little bit more that I could look up, but at this point, I'm not able to really look at much, and what I did look at didn't look the best, so.
Well, the car wash soap, I guarantee, is not flammable for sure, but, he's not painting. If there is a touch-up paint, it would be the size of like fingernail polish.
Correct.
What the size, yeah. It's not like a gallon and stuff, so I can't speak for you, but maybe there's some degreasers, but nothing more than a typical garage guy would have in his garage,
Correct.
probably.
Correct.
And the degreasers, that would not, this whole building would not just go up in flames with that.
If you usually go to a lot of people's garages in this town, they probably got a lot more hazardous material than what he's gonna have. Don't come look at mine, let me tell you that right now.
Sorry.
Don't come look at my garage. I'll be honest with you.
Excuse me, how tall will the structure be?
I believe it's 18 feet, I believe. There is a loft area. I believe.
Well, the
I could be a little off on that. It may be a little high or a little lower than that.
Is it same height as what's there now, the carport?
No, it would be taller.
Oh, okay.
So just to kind of recap this, as of now, we have discussed putting in a condition to have the building closer to his residence. Is that correct?
Was that a motion? Yeah, somebody's gotta make a motion and then. I would add whatever. Somebody wants to add to the motion.
Are we ready for the motion?
It'd be Keith's motion if he wants to.
May I have a motion?
You want me to make the motion? 105 East Cochran Street, conditional use permit request for an auto detailing business garage. Detail works in an R1A zoned area, CU-01-26 tax parcel number 23-009.00-046.
May I have a second?
I'll second that.
All those in favor signify by saying,
Did you want to put, are we motioning for restriction to move closer? To move the garage closer, or?
Right, and then the vote that we're
If
voting
it
on.
can be?
Can be.
If it can be?
And the vote we're voting on now isn't to pass it, it's just to add that as a condition, correct?
Vote to
It
approve.
goes to the mayor,
Okay.
so it doesn't matter.
Recommend approval.
But right now we're doing the motion to recommend approval with that condition. Okay.
A nay would be against it, and a yay would be for it. the
Would
motion.
it be appropriate, I don't know how this, I think it's the first time we've been in this situation, but would it be appropriate to talk to the neighbors again and, no? Okay.
all those, in-
Yeah, had more questions for them, if, you know, if they're here.
What's up to the
If you
chair?
wanted to, well, if you want to ask the chair to clarify something that they said.
Okay. What my question would have, my question would have been if this brings about, if this helps ease some of those concerns.
If,
You gotta come to the microphone. You gotta come to the microphone and state your name again.
Yes, sir.
Tommy Jacobs. I do have a question. Brandon did ask, say something about the vacuum. Is that going to be outside? You said something about the compressor in the bathroom, but you said you didn't know if you could do it with the vacuum.
I mean, I'm pretty creative. I'm sure I can have the vacuum in the bathroom as well. So it would be in an enclosed room. And Tommy, no offense, but you're up here preaching about noise and stuff, but you are a belligerent drunk and numerous,
Hold it.
We can't
We're
have
not
that.
talking about any of that.
Yeah, I'm not getting personal here, and I told you it wasn't personal.
Okay.
If you want to throw stones,
Yeah, nothing.
No.
That was your, appreciate your question. Okay, back to where we were. Any other, thanks for the, motion. Are we clear on the motion?
I do apologize, Chairman. I do apologize. I didn't hear you. What did you say?
Are we ready for the motion now? We got
Yes, sir.
we got what
I
we went
apologize.
in the motion about the. Okay. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
Why?
The reason why I'm saying nay is under the general provisions about adversely affecting the safety and healthiness of the persons residing and working in the neighborhood.
I'm gonna go not voting just because I feel like I don't have enough information to vote comfortably.
Okay. Motion passes.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
It passed.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you.
I'll go to mayor and council, right?
Yes, it now goes.
That has a condition in it too, right? Just,
Yes.
thank
Next is 17 Wood Street, Unit 39, conditional use permit request for an indoor playground, the Cozy Play Corner, in a C2 zoned area. Indoor playground is designed for children 8 months to 7 years old. Play areas may contain slides and climbing structures.
I'm sorry.
Just, don't worry about it.
CU-02-26, tax parcel number 23-005.00-038.
Hi, my name's Anthony Solis. We are looking for approval on a soft play facility for children 8 months to 7 years old. That's the target age range. Over at 17 Wood Street, we're currently working with the landlord. The space right now is wide open. They requested that we reach out to the town for approval. While working with the group, they specified that it's not zoned appropriately, so that's why I'm attending this meeting. So the soft play center, like I said, it's geared for children up to 7 years old. No trampolines, no ball pits. The idea here is that we have a small to medium-sized indoor play setup. We have tables and chairs for parents. There would be a bathroom installed, storage closet installed, and then age-appropriate toys for children.
Any questions?
Sounds very similar to Natural Nest.
What was that?
That sounds very similar to Natural Nest.
Yes, down the street, yeah. So they're geared a little bit for the younger age. I would say up to 2 years old, 3 years old, more like wooden structures, where the setups that we're currently reviewing are more padded, slides, similar, a little bit different though.
made eye contact with my husband, because we're always looking for padded areas for my son.
Exactly, yes. I definitely think it's a need for the area.
Is this a drop off? I'm sorry, go ahead.
Are the parents gonna be there with the kids?
Correct. Yes, so this is
That's what I
not,
was gonna ask.
Yeah, but how many parking spots is there more? So it didn't look, there's not that many parking spots.
so inside the complex, they have 33, and then the overflow across the street, they have 53.
Yeah, but
We have
there's
both
other
sides.
businesses too.
He's got both sides. He's got the
they
site
got-
along the railroad tracks, and then he's got the
But you got the
interior.
other businesses in there too you have to concern with, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's a certain amount of shared.
What hours are you gonna be open?
Weekends would be extended hours. We'd be aiming for 9 to 6:30, 7 o'clock, and then Monday through Friday would be reduced hours because, as you can imagine, most children would be in school. But realistically, the idea would be 11 or 12 to 5 o'clock, so shorter during the weekdays, longer during the weekends.
Any other questions?
Is the layout changing inside the building at all? I mean, you're just opening up the whole place, right?
So the layout is currently wide open. I'm truthfully not sure if there was any business in there previously. But I know when working with the landlord, they mentioned that they would be required to install a bathroom, of course. There would be an emergency exit door added as well, because right now, the way the layout is, it's based on conversation, they mentioned it would be for two separate businesses. But they would put a false wall in between and then add a new emergency exit in the back.
I do think you have enough parking, because you have the overflow parking on the back side of that, is that right?
Right, so the overflow on the other side of the street has 53 spots, and then interior, we have 33, and then realistically, there's behind the building, and then there's a street along the side as well.
I've been to a few places, similar to this, like I said, like the Natural Nest, where.
Very similar, yes.
Yeah, there's not a lot of people at one time.
What is like the,
It's not like jump on.
It's indoor play facility for children.
no, I know, but like,
Kids are grown, so I don't know.
like, what's the max capacity like we would have? I mean,
Max capacity, I was chatting with the landlord, and that's something that, of course, I'd have to check with the fire marshal on, but realistically, like the volume going in, weekends, I think we'd be targeting anywhere from 40 to 50 families throughout the entire day, not at once, of course, and then weekends would be much smaller, so I don't think traffic would be much of a concern.
Any other questions? Any questions in the audience?
I do apologize, that 12 to 5 is even on the weekends also?
Right now, that's kind of, it's part of the business plan. It could expand, but realistically, I don't know if there's a need for full days during the weekdays, minus potentially a temporary schedule during the summer when the kids are out of school. But majority of the time, I would expect a reduced schedule during weekdays.
Nothing like evening dinner time though, right?
No, I think the cap on this would be in that 6:30, 7 o'clock range at most, because mind you, to your point, Jackson House is right next door. Yeah, so we understand they get very busy, but yeah, this business would not technically align with nightlife.
Understandable.
Any other questions? May I have a motion?
I'll make a motion. I got it, Jen. 17 Wood Street, Unit 39, conditional use permit request for an indoor playground, the Cozy Play Corner, in a C2 zoned area. Indoor playground is designed for children 8 months to 7 years old. Play areas may contain slides and climbing structures, CU-02-26, period, tax parcel number 23-005, period, 00-038. Yes, Jen.
I'm waiting for you.
I'll
Like a
second.
second.
I already have it written down. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So ordered. Motion carried.
Okay, everybody.
Next is 301 Business Park North, northwest intersection of Warwick Road and Middle Neck Road. Amended major land development plan for a 2.4 million plus or minus square foot, single-story e-commerce fulfillment center with an interior mezzanine, which will superseded the previously recorded plan dated December 6, 2025. At location, the amended plan submission contemplates all the necessary changes to site improvements, utility infrastructure, and stormwater management for this new building. Tax parcel number 23-073.00-001.
Hi, my name is Alex Escamilla. I'm with Blue Water Property Group. I'm a development manager, working as an owner's rep on behalf of Amazon, who is the current owner of this property. Before you were the, sorry, just want to make sure I have a couple slides. Might not be working. Okay, so as I mentioned, I'm from Blue Water Property Group. We're a development development shop out of Philadelphia and New York. We're a development partner to Amazon. We execute all sorts of projects of scale for them throughout the Northeast. So this project that's in front of you is one that we as a firm have executed similar prototypes throughout the Northeast and other communities. You heard about this project back in December and January of 2024. Since then, Amazon has purchased the property, and we've been going through a design and engineering process with them. So this plan a plan on the site has already been recorded and approved. We're here to present a new iteration of a facility that has the exact same use, same basic functionality. It's just in a different type of box, based on the innovation and constant iteration that Amazon does in its logistics network. So everyone knows where hopefully the site is. You've seen it, you've approved it. We're on right off of Route 299 on Middle Neck Road and Warwick Road. The currently recorded site plan is what you have in front of you. As you can see, it's a box that's set back from the street, has a large parking area, a large truck parking area. This facility is actually a multi-story facility. It's about 110 feet high with 5 stories stacked on top of it. The concept here was just a different type of material handling equipment and conveying system. Since this board saw this plan, Amazon has released a new prototype for also high throughput fulfillment called the Gen 14. That's this plan that we have in front of you for approval today. It's a single story with an interior mezzanine, so it's a lot lower of a building, but wider. And the reason for this change is technology, all the types of iteration, just they're constantly improving on efficiency, but also in this particular facility type, it's enhanced worker safety, so there's fewer touch points and more area, like less areas where there can be conflict, as well as just shorter, more kind of standard warehouse. So the previous plan represented kind of a highly specialized building. This is a more standard bulk warehouse facility that you might see all over, industrial neighborhoods, such as this one. So this is a 1.2 million square foot facility. Like I said, 50 foot clear as opposed to 110, so it's half the height. And there is a lot of the same, it's the same kind of employment numbers, like big, good jobs for the community, but less traffic based on how shifts and stuff are. So it's net, I think, a positive change for the community, less visible, less traffic, different footprint. So, oops, I have to get a little closer. This is a conceptual rendering of the new prototype. And this is kind of a chart of the basic differences between the two facilities. So you can see there's a reduction in square footage. The limit of disturbance is a little bigger because of that wider building footprint, but the total impervious ratio is still generally the same. As you can see, there's slightly fewer parking spaces, slightly fewer trailer spaces, slightly fewer trips at the AM and PM peak hours, as well as just a shorter building. The benefits for the project remain largely the same. This is going to be an increased tax base on a commercial project. There will be at least 750 full-time employees with an average salary of $22.50 an hour. We'll be generating many, many construction jobs for the 2 years while the building is under construction. And then, of course, other indirect benefits from having a facility like this in the community. And that's it.
May I ask for a clarification? So the proposal on our agenda states 2.4 million square feet, but your proposal, I believe you said 1.2 million?
Oh, sorry, there's an interior mezzanine, so it's a 1.2 million square foot footprint of the building, but there are two kind of levels inside the building. So the footprint is 1.2, but then there's another large mezzanine inside the building, but it's open to below, right? So, yeah, so it's not 2.4 outside. It's 1.2 footprint, and then the extra square footage is through a mezzanine and other types of equipment platforms in the building.
Thank you. 2 million would have been 2 times the Christiana Mall.
Correct, that's not what we're going for. So the previous building actually had a smaller building footprint, but more square footage because of the height.
Okay.
Yeah.
Two questions. The water tanks on the property, are they still gonna be necessary with the height being half what it was before?
Yeah, just because of, it's again, we have a special sprinkler system inside these buildings. It's an ESFR system that is designed to essentially suppress fire. So the water tanks are really there as a redundancy, as well as to make sure there's enough water held on site for any event to be completely, basically, taken out before even a fire truck pulls up.
Sounds good to me.
So yes, we will still need the fire tanks.
The other question would be, we discussed in a couple of our meetings about the elevator access to certain areas, the mezzanines and whatnot, comparing to the other facility on Merrimack Avenue. And I don't know, with this new plan, if you have worked out those kinks or figured out how, I know you'll have employees up on the mezzanines. So
Yeah,
how do
so
you bring
the,
them down?
the mezzanines are the bulk of the mezzanine use is actually non-occupiable storage area. Of course, there will be people there doing maintenance, or if there's a piece of equipment that comes down, you'll need to access it. And there will have to be ADA compliance access to those mezzanines. But the primary, way to get up there is gonna be stairs. But I think you were worried about elevator access for emergency personnel,
Yeah,
or?
I mean, the current facility out on Merrimack, the mezzanines, of course, you have belts and lines that go in between, and someone working on this side, you can't get stretchers, it's all about stairs, there is no
Right.
elevator at all at this one. It's
Right,
just
no, there
it's
will be a
equipment
way
elevator.
for, we have to meet ADA and other like types of ways of getting up there. So I can get back to you about the exact locations of the elevators, but that would be something that we address in the building permit
I know
plan.
the Boxwood plant had one, and we just talked about whether or not you could get, when we toured that one, if it covered the entire area or just partials, so.
Yeah,
I'm just
usually it's
concerned.
partial because it's made for kind of specific access. It's primarily gonna be a stair accessed mezzanine. But the way these buildings are laid out is the mezzanines are primarily occupied on the perimeter rather than through the middle, because the middle
Right.
is mostly just stuff. Yeah.
You're still doing the robotic stuff in the center, like at the Boxwood?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, it's operated through a Kiva robot system, yeah.
And one last thing, where is there one of these Gen 14s built? Is there one finished yet?
So there haven't been of this particular prototype finished, but what I will say, after I've been working with Amazon for 7 years, and this is a callback to a previous iteration of a similar, right? So the thing has kind of come all the way back towards simpler and earlier iterations with a higher functioning technology inside. So we've actually built a very similar facility to this in a number of locations. It's just not this exact generation. But Amazon has a lot of kind of bulk warehouses with interior mezzanines. It's a very common prototype, but this exact one is relatively new. The one we showed before is Gen 12. This is Gen 14. They skipped 13 because of bad luck, so numbers. So this is, but it is getting rolled out throughout the country.
What is the one that's existing here in Middletown?
The boxwood one, that one is, it's definitely an older iteration. It's probably in the 9.5 generation.
Just curious.
Yeah. It's a previous version.
More robots.
Yeah. It's more robots, but there's also a lot of employees in these facilities too, because the high throughput demands high employee count too.
Any other questions? Questions from the audience?
Is this the final straw?
Well, before planning, and so it goes to mayor and council.
And then this building will be constructed at this point, right? They won't come back and see us anymore.
Hopefully there won't be another change.
The only thing I have is, you're okay with that, Frank? You know, the elevator and all that outside and,
Yeah, we discussed it in pretty lengthy detail. We visited the Boxwood plant, walked that one, and, you know, I look forward to this one, as they develop the plan and going out and figuring out the access on your blueprints and what we can do to make it work, because,
And is your concern primarily for public safety and access through?
bringing injured workers down.
Yeah,
pretty
yeah,
much.
right, absolutely, yeah,
You can't use a tool elevator like you have at Merrimack Avenue.
right, to
for
bring people down,
personnel.
yeah.
And then I know the one at Boxwood, it covered, the way it was set up, almost all the mezzanine area you can get to. They're regular personnel elevators, but just like to see the layout, you know,
Yeah.
of how it's gonna work.
I can follow up with that information as well.
Great. Yeah, I'm
a few
okay.
schools, so, yeah,
Yeah.
we're good.
You have a motion?
I can make that motion. 301 Business Park North, northwest intersection of Warwick Road, Middle Neck Road. Amended major land development plan for 2.4 million plus or minus square foot, single-story e-commerce fulfillment center with interior mezzanine, which will supersede the previously recorded plan dated December 6, 2025 at this location. The amended plan submission contemplates all necessary changes to site improvements, utility infrastructure, and stormwater management for this new building. Tax parcel 23-073.00-001.
You have a second?
I'll second that.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
And I would like to note that for possible conflict of interest, I am abstaining because I have briefly worked for Amazon in the past.
Thank you very much.
I'll make a motion.
Yeah. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion's carried.
Is this supposed to be, oh, it's supposed to be.